Is it possible to get more done just by sitting there? Interesting question. So I have a favorite app that I use. It's called Headspace. It's meditation, mindfulness, those kinds of things. And my favorite part in it is they have a series of sleep casts that they have, because I'm really famous for waking up with a bad dream in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep and lay there for 2 hours worrying about everything in the world. And so I turned these on and they just talk. It's not something you have to follow. It's not like a podcast where you follow a story to understand what's going on. They're just talking. And one of my favorite sleep casts is about a train ride. And in it, the narrator makes this point. He says, when you're sitting on a train, just by sitting there, you do everything possible to get to your destination. And that has affected me a lot as I've listened. When you're on a train or a plane, just by sitting there, you're doing everything possible to arrive at your destination. Now, take that to a separate layer. My parents recently both had breakthrough cases of COVID. We're both in the hospital. My dad was back in the hospital. They were stranded out in 1,500 miles from their home, out in a hotel. They got evicted from a hotel because they had COVID. It's like, what are they supposed to do? Just all kinds of things that should not have happened on that trip for them. They're now home. They're now better. But I watched them go through the challenges of COVID and continue to go through the challenges of COVID. And one of the things my mom said to me is, it's just like the Dementors have come and sucked all the oomph and the desire to get things done out of us. And I pointed out to her that the cure for a Dementor is to eat chocolate. And I told her that's the solution. But the thing I've told them is, your main job right now is to get well. And if that requires 3 naps in a day, that is your job. You are doing everything possible to get to your desired destination of being well by taking a nap, by just sitting there and watching a TV show, or just sitting there and reading a book. Third thing, in the process of all this, I was supposed to have been on a plane to go visit them and to visit my son and his children. And they were still stuck in that hotel 1,500 miles away, so I wasn't going to be able to visit them. And then literally 20 minutes before I left to go get on the plane, I talked to my son, who said, oh, we just found out that we were exposed to COVID last night, and so we're under quarantine ourselves. And so I didn't get on the plane. And I discovered that I've been really, really looking forward to this trip as an emotional. There's a grandchild there that's a year old that I've not yet met. There's an activity that I was planning on going to there that is my spiritual and physical and emotional bucket filler again. And I didn't get that. And so here I am trying to figure out, what are some of the things I can do to refill my bucket again? And my brain goes to that story of the train, that sometimes just by sitting there, you're doing everything possible to get to your destination. And I realized that I need to sit and do nothing for a bit. Not every day, not all day, every day. I'm trying to put in pieces, go out, sit on the back patio, and just do nothing for 30 minutes. Read my book. I actually watched a movie last night. It was pretty good. You know, so I guess my point is this. We've all had a rough year and a half. It's looking like we might have a rough next 6 months. What can we do to refill our bucket as much as we can so that when it gets hard again, we'll have the full bucket to be able to go on? I encourage you to think of that. I encourage you to take some time to do what you've got to do to be well. What have you found that worked? I can use suggestions. What are you doing? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.